Yeah. People acting like I ain't a fucking criminal. Like I ain't never doing dirt though. Probably cause the way I'm doing shit is clinical. But I've been putting in some work, bruh. I see you looking at me cynical. I ain't fucking with your smirk, ho. We been doing shit despicable. But we just keep it on the low. For example, walking to...
Alright, enough of that bullshit intro. Welcome to episode 1 of the Lonelycast. No one wanted to hop on here with me, so it's just myself, Kevin William Stewart, aka your boy, Young Kev. I think today we're going to be giving a quick overview of the very recent fantasy football draft we had for the Degenerates, very appropriately named. And what I'm planning to do here is, let's make sure we're good. This took a while to get set up. I'm going to be going team by team, giving a rank per position, and I'm planning on ranking all the teams at the end. So we have preseason spice ranking, as Fran would say. So let's get into it. First up, we got our boy Alec. I believe he's the reigning champ, which you hate to see, but you got to respect it. Let's give a quick look. I'm sure JJ provided the winners here. Yep, Alec won it last year. A lot of respect for him. You hate to go up against him, but we'd love to see him work his magic. So let's take a look at his team, Old Man Rivers. All right, he's got Eli. I feel like it's a great value pick. Be very interested to see where he actually took him. Maybe I'll pull up the draft results here just so I can have that reference. I think he's a step above a guy like Tyrod. He's got the arm. He fucking tosses the rockets. It's pretty nuts. What round did we get him in here? Alright, this is like the most useless sheet. Alright, here we go. Draft recap. That's obviously what I want. Eli. 9th round. Just after Bortles, I consider them pretty equivalent in terms of value. But it's not a super stud like your Aaron Rodgers, even your Brady once he's off suspension. I'm going to give that a B. Obviously, he's just going for the value pick there. I'm sure he made up for it in other ways. And we see Odell here, the result of a questionable trade just after the draft ended. A main point of contention, and I'd love Fran to give a value-based kind of breakdown there. Seems to do that on all of my trades, but we haven't seen it from him. I think he's maybe got it out for the Stewarts, but it's reasonable. Same goes with me and the Divinis. They love to collude. So you got Odell Beckham. I love Brandon Cooks. It's a ridiculous receiving core, and you got Baldwin bringing up the rear. I think it's crazy to see that he's ranked 10th from last year. That's bonkers. I didn't even realize he was put up so many points. It seems like it came in the last half of the season. It's nuts, 38.5 points in one game. My mind's blown right now. I really didn't expect that. It wouldn't surprise me if he has the top receiving core in the whole thing, so you got to give him the A+. Let's take a look at his receivers now. All right, he's working with D'Angelo Williams. That's only going to hold up for so long. Who's he falling back on then? DeMarco Murray. He's on Tennessee. He's got Derrick Henry breathing down his neck pretty much. You read all about him. Extremely hyped guy. Apparently he's built like a tank. Duke Johnson Jr., Sean's boy. Mike Steinberg's boy. PPR GOAT. But really, he's not putting up crazy numbers for how much people talk about him. Am I missing something here? He has a ton of receptions per game. You're looking in the 4 to 6 range, I guess, 3 to 5. It's respectable, but it's not going to carry your team. It's just consistent points, which is definitely appreciated, but I think you got to go with the. I'm going to give him a B there. I don't love the running backs that much. He's going to hate to hear that, but that's my stance right now. Wide receivers are amazing. I think he gave up a lot to grab Odell. I know it's his boy, expecting an even larger breakout than we saw in the past couple years. We'll see how it goes. After that, tight end, Ebron. Honestly, I don't know shit about him. Doesn't seem too crazy to me. With guys I don't know much about, I like to toss it over to the player profiler. That's playerprofiler.com. I am not sponsored. But let's take a look. What are his metrics like? How do you do at the combine? All right, it's very fast for a tight end. So this is speed based on height. He's 6'4". He's in that 85th percentile for each of these speed rankings. That's good to see. His arm length isn't anything ridiculous when you compare him to Travis Kelce, a Gronkowski. So I'm going like middle of the range here. I guess he's on the Lions. They lost Calvin Johnson. He's going to be looking for a check down pretty frequently. If it doesn't go to Theoretic, then I guess he's going to be tossing it to him. I'll give him a B+ here. Then let's take a look at his bench. We're discounting Murray. I'm expecting him to be slotted into the lineup here. So we got Floyd. I'm a big fan of him. Cardinals have a supercharged offense. Jennings, you never know. He hasn't shown much. I guess he's 22nd rank, RB2, low end. Don't love it. Winston, I'm a big fan of. I think he's going to step it up. I think I could easily see him overtaking Eli Manning. Then Dion Lewis, Alec's going to toss in that injury wild card. He loves to gamble a bit. So overall, the bench, Winston, Floyd make up for the rest of these bitches. So I'm going to give him a B here. I would have expected a bit better of a draft. He's probably 10 steps ahead of me, but from what I see, I'm going to place him down around the 7 range. I think he's expecting his receivers to really carry him here. And D'Angelo Williams won't be in that RB1 range for long. Next, we're going to the older LaFontaine, the elder. So Super Mariota. Not a big fan of the name. Does he have Mariota? So it's just leftover from last year, but still, it's a weird icon. Could use an update. That's all I'm saying. Start off with the QB. Drew Brees, Mr. Consistent. Toss in Brandon Cooks. I believe Jared Cook. No, or is it Fleener? I think it's Fleener. Yeah, he's on the Saints, right? Fleener, I haven't heard great things about him at a preseason. He's been really talked down. Dropped a lot of value. So Drew Brees, who's he tossing to? Ingram, great pass catcher. Right out of Alabama. And Cooks, who else? Snead is a deep threat. But I think you got to give it to Brees. He's an A-level talent. So, respect there. Murray. Surprised to see Murray actually ranked ahead of Ingram here. It's really solid running core. And let's see who he's got in terms of depth. Devontae Booker. Don't love that. Oh, he's got Bell. Okay, holy shit. In that case, the running backs are ridiculous. if Murray's your RB3, I think you're in a great spot. So you got to toss him the A+ here. I mean, you traded for Bell. You got to respect that. So thinking he can make it till the 3-game suspension is up. We'll see how it actually holds up. Jordy Nelson, semi-question mark. He's, what, I want to say he's 31. Could that be correct? Yes, he is 31. Coming off torn ACL, that's a big question mark. I actually passed on him in terms of Alshon Jeffrey. Extremely questionable choice. I semi-regret it, but both of them have their risks. If he comes back strong, he's instantly slotted in that top 10 of receivers, possibly top 5, with Aaron Rodgers tossing him the rock. But there's risk there. Edelman, injured, I think, broken foot, something like that. He's amazing in PPR, gets a ridiculous amount of targets. I guess he's the second option behind Gronk. I think it's a solid pick, but again, some injury issues. I think Edelman goes hard in the paint, but comes up with some concussions from time to time. You have to take that into account. Moncrief, I think the Colts' offense is a dumpster fire, honestly. He's got Stephon Diggs sitting on the bench, but Bridgewater just went down. Overall, I like Nelson, I like Edelman, but it's a lot of question marks, so I'm going to have to give this a B+. And let's take a look at his tight end. Julius Thomas, he's on Jacksonville. I think he's physically a beast. On Jacksonville, though, they really didn't use him that consistently. I don't like it too much. I think he's towards the bottom of startable tight ends. Could easily be surpassed. I'm going with a B- here. Tyler Boyd, he's one of the sleeper picks. Zach Miller, don't know much about him. Torrey Smith, don't think it offers that much in terms of upside, unless I'm missing something. Yeah. Bell's going to eventually be a starter, which would probably drop Moncrief down. You have to consider that in the bench ranking. Got some upside. Got some, solid, consistent players there. You have to go with the B. So what I'm seeing so far, the LaFontants are a proven commodity when it comes to fantasy football. I'm sure they're going to prove me wrong, but Dereck is a bit more reliable here than Alec. I'm going to rank him a bit ahead, and these are subject to change in the future once we get down to some more teams. So moving on to JJ, let's make sure this recording software is working right. If anyone's wondering, Coney Island Mermaid Pilsner is what I'm drinking tonight. It's one of my favorites, right up there with 6-point sweet action, all reliable, gets the job done. Let's move on to double asshole. Yeah, I would request an icon change. I can't really see what's going on here. This guy's showing off his, piss bag or something he's got tucked into his jeans. I guess maybe he's going nuts. Has a ton of drafts in a row and can't afford a bathroom break or something like that. All right, so you see Cam Newton up top. Can't give anything but an A+ there. That's an easy one. Jamal Charles, he handcuffed him with Ware. Ware's looked great out of preseason camp. Jamal Charles, I think, full disclosure, I have him on another fantasy team, but I think he's going to bounce back. He has 2 torn and repaired ACLs. He can't tear another one unless he's hiding one. Melvin Gordon, honestly, the Chargers are trying to feed him the rock. I think Woodhead is going to have a reduced role this year. Gordon is their back of the future, so I think that's a great value pick. Frank Gore, I don't love it again. I really think Colts offense is a dumpster fire based on their O-line performance, Luck's performance last year. Not going to bank on him having a bounce back. So let's see. Jamal Charles, Gordon, and Gore. You have the consistency of the upside with Charles, highest yards per carry of all time. I'm going to stick with I'm going B+ for now. We'll see if he brings it back in the wide receiver department. So he's got AJ Green with the loss of Marvin Jones. Sanu, I think, was on that team, as well as Eifert. I'm expecting Green to get a large majority of the targets this year, because really, who else do they have to throw to? I was ranking him above Hopkins in my approach to my 4th overall draft pick, so I think that's a great pickup. So let's see. It's got J Matt, some Philly love there. Got to respect it. Sterling Shepard with the upside. Snead, we talked about that downfield threat for New Orleans. I like it. I think that's an A- worthy. Tight end Jordan Reed, right behind Gronk, with the potential to surpass him. Actually, I like to look into, why is he so highly regarded? I haven't done much research, but I saw him ranked ahead of even my boy Jimmy Gaff. What's up here? Let's see, 6'2". Overall agility, super high up there. The spark isn't anything crazy. Guess he's expected, I guess the Redskins, they have Macklin, and then who else? We're going to be looking to toss it to someone downfield. I guess that guy's Reed, so based on number of targets, target share, 23.8% for a tight end. That's pretty insane, 114. Let's see, total number of receptions, 87. For a tight end, that's nice. So I see why he is ranked up number 2. All right, so you have to give him an A. I think the A+ is reserved for that boy Gronk. Charles Sims, great pickup. I think he's going to have a ton of value, with the potential for Doug Martin to have a down year after he kind of re-broke out last year. And, he's got a lot of those PPR running backs. Powell, not exactly sure how he's going to function with Matt Forte coming to the Jets. They lost Chris Ivory, but I see Forte getting the majority of the carries just based on raw ability. Chris Thompson, I remember I picked him up off the wire a while back. Solid in PPR, but nothing crazy. Please stop being weird. Bench. Overall, it's solid. He's got those high upside guys with Shepard and Sims. I consider him high upside. Snead can easily slot into the flex over Gore. Ware is a great handcuff, probably the top handcuff out there right now. I think that's a really solid bench. I'm going to give him an A. Overall, it's a great draft. I'm gonna toss him in at 3rd right now. I don't know what the rest of the landscape looks like, but from what I'm seeing, it's solid. Real solid from JH. Respect up there in Boston. Tell your girl what up. Love you guys to come down and visit Park Slope sometime. Hopefully we can make it up there. All right. Now we got the West Coast Wonder, a.k.a. That Perp Skirp Lord. We're talking about the boy Carl, Andres Johnson, yet another team that requires that update of the title. Trying to figure out what this icon is. It's someone going ham on the drums. It's a coach, waving his hands around. Trying to see the team. It's 49ers. I don't really get it. I must be out of the loop. He took Aaron Rodgers early on. What can you say about Rodgers? He's sick. With return of Nelson, you expect both Nelson and Cobb to benefit from that. Indirectly, Rodgers gets a bump. I believe he has Jesse James, right, at tight ends. Now that guy's actually on Pittsburgh. Who does he have? Cook. Yeah, he's got Cook on our boy Conway's team. He's got a lot of threats now. I'm expecting a slimmed up Lacey to provide some passing options. Overall, I expect Green Bay to really go ham this year. There's no other way to put it. I'm going to give Rodgers... I'll give A+. Okay, yeah, Cam. Yeah, I'm going to downgrade Breeze to an A-, just based on quality of weapons. Give your boy Rodgers an A. He's got Lamar Miller. I remember his first and second round on the wrap. Miller to Robinson, extremely strong. He couldn't have expected it out of the Amazon kid. Figured he's got his head face down in, Stack Overflow, looking up error codes all day, but you see him bust out a ridiculous 1-2 pick, and he's right back in the game. Carlos Hyde, I hate it. Yeah, I really hate it. He's got Christine Michael. That's nice. But you see news of Rawls being able to start in week 1, possibly coming out for the game tonight. Actually didn't check the scores there. Let's maybe take a look. I'm really interested to see. Beyond Miller doesn't look great. I guess he's got a Jaye, however you say that name. Sounds like a Brazilian beach volleyball player in the flex. I don't expect him to stay there. He's banking on Foster getting hurt. You never know. Probably the most injury-prone guy in the league, so it's a possibility, but I'm not loving it. Lamar Miller brings it up a bit, but that's a B- in terms of depth. Let's take a look at wide receivers. Robinson, I love him. He's right up there with Hopkins and Green, honestly, just in terms of raw ability. He's got a lot of depth. Jones possibly taking over as the WR1 role over Golden Tate. I expect it. We'll see. Wheaton, Matthews. I do like Matthews to have a breakout year. Sanu, that's a great pickup too. He's got a lot of depth here. Crabtree, solid scoring, no doubt. 16th overall. Behind Cooper, WR2. I think it's solid. I don't know if I can give it the A- based on the lack of true WR2, but I'm inclined to give it B+. Let's take a look at the tight ends. Fleener, we were just talking about him. Hasn't gotten great feedback coming out of camp. I'll do a quick search, but heard he's unmotivated or doesn't have the rapport with Breeze that we want to see. All right. Here I have Breeze saying he's always open. Let's do a more recent search. That sounds like bullshit to me. One of the best choices at tight ends. What the hell was I looking at then? Could have sworn I saw something. Okay, here we go. Kobe Fleener not on the same page as Drew Brees. Maybe it was Mardi Gras or some shit. He was a little bit drunk, but everything else I'm seeing is pretty positive. I'm going to label him a question mark. We'll go with a B. I think he has a lot of upside, but the recent kind of disconnect with his QB, obviously very important. We'll see how that actually shapes up. And the bench, I love the receiver depth here. A lot of guys that could be promoted to that WR1 position. If Julio goes down, he's very injury prone. You're going to see him bumped up there. Matthews, who do they have? Not sure. Let's see. It's in the blurb here. Kendall Wright. He's coming off injury. They don't have Doro TGB anymore. Delaney Walker, you expect a downtick in targets. DeMarco Murray, he seems unmotivated to me. Maybe now that he's in Tennessee, I don't know why they wouldn't make him any more motivated than Philadelphia. I mean, please. I expect him to have a great year. I mean, look at his numbers before he got injured. I think that's really good pickup there from Carl. I think, I would slot him into the flex to start the week off, start the season off. I guess you could make a case for Marvin Jones there as well. We'll see what he chooses to do. And in terms of bench, I think it's one of the better ones. I'm going to give the A. I would lean towards A+, but not exactly sure what's coming next. I got to get a feel for the field, and maybe I'll make some adjustments. All right, let's check out Fran. Sitting with him in the room, maybe gave him a couple of pointers. I mean, I'm not going to take any credit, but let's see what he's all about here. So, New Jersey Titty Dicks. It's a tried and true name. You love to see it. You love to see the icon, the asparagus with the tiny organic tomatoes he probably picked up from Whole Foods on his, cedar deck. You love to see that out of the jerseys. They're really repping it over there. The cost of living is great, and they want to let people know that. So that's good to see. Let's give a quick shout out to Rocky. Just picked him up from a shelter. Hey, Rock, come here. I want to give some love. Check him out. It's a tabby cat. He's gray. He's right around 9.5 months now. And he's about as friendly as you can get. I never had a cat, but I would put him up there in that A to A+ range. We'll see how he shapes out in the long run, but he's pretty thin when I got him. Trying to bulk him up, get him ready for the regular season. Not full feast mode, I was just soon with Lacey, but we'll see where he goes from there. Give a quick shout out to your fans. I know Blant would love to see you. Let's get back into it. Andrew Luck. You never know what to do with that. Hopefully he's got a decent backup. Dak Prescott. All right. Not sure there. I'm going with a B-. I haven't gotten to the C range yet. I really feel like everyone has a solid draft. I don't know if everyone just had beer sheets and was going down, that value-based drafting that has been made so popular. I have to admit I do it myself. JJ got pissed at me. I actually didn't hand out the sheets. Pack printed it out. I pointed it out. Fran got it in my face. Let's see how this team turned out with the slight insight from, 20 minutes worth of looking at someone else's beer sheets. He's got C.J. Anderson. Thomas Rawls, the question mark, broke his ankle, so it's worse than an ACL tear. I mean, I guess I really am not a doctor. I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but crushed it at the end of the season, Pack and Matt picked him up, carried him into the championship, and had a tough loss, but let's see his receiving production here. He's rushing. All right, receptions. I actually expected more here. He had some long passes. I think Seattle has a underrated receiving core, with Lynch, now Rawls, eventually possibly Christine Michael. I don't want to put Rawls down. You really expect him to rely on the rush, maybe the play action, the short pass, the screen. But they got Baldwin, Lockett. They have those downfield options that are going to open up the box. I think Rawls is potentially a great value pick if he comes back healthy. So I like the pick. C.J. Anderson, I don't love that. Derrick Henry, that is That's a great pickup. He's looked like an absolute beast in preseason from what I've read, and he's built like a truck. Let's get some numbers here. I got to see it. Why is everyone jerking their dick to this guy? He looks scary. He's got the cornrows. I think maybe that's half the battle when you're on the field. 4.54. Okay, he's fast as fuck. 6'3", 247. Okay, he's gigantic. So this seems like an Easter egg on the site. Best comparable is Zangief. What the hell is this? 7 foot, 254. God. What the hell? Okay. Oh, super. It's a Street Fighter Easter egg on the site here. You know, you heard it here first. They might start up a separate player profile, like Easter egg type YouTube channel. Tune in. Let me know. Comment on the vid if there's interest. Let's get back to Fran's team here. So, running backs, I like the upside on the bench, even just from Dereck Henry. Don't love it. For the starters, you know, C.J. Anderson, super down year. Sean was pissed. Rawls, I think I have to give a B here. Not great depth. Some upside. It's really crossing his fingers. So we got Hopkins at pick 9. That's insane. Brandon Marshall. That's got to compete for top receiving core. He's got Lockett. Aiken, I expect him to go crazy. Beckham, okay. You know, he's there. That's it. That's what we wanted to see. Walker, you know, we talked about him having a downtick in targets based on Wright coming back. Matthews possibly having a bigger role. But still, he's going to get his touchdowns. He's a big guy. He's looking like a B+ for me. And the bench. Dak Prescott, unknown, but I don't expect a rookie QB to do much. He's going to have a lot of time to pass in the pocket with that line. You know, Elliott is a ridiculous pass blocker from what we've seen. We'll see how it turns out. Abdullah, I feel like I just glossed over him, but I guess he got hurt. No, he's just played shitty. ESPN's projecting a bit better of a year. I don't really know what to think about him. I think there's a reason he's starting off on the bench. I don't think that does much for this overall ranking here. Dwayne Allen, banking on that Indiana bounce back. We'll see how that goes. Overall, I think we're going with a B here. I think that places him. Let's see. I think it places him between Dereck and Alec. You know, it's not bad company. You know, I'm sure these guys are going to prove me wrong. But from what I'm seeing right here, could have done a bit better in the drafts. Maybe just based on pick. You know, they missed their spots. They're banking on these high upside guys. Odell Beckham easily could jump into that number 1 spot just based on physical ability alone, and Eli's going to toss the rock to him downfield. Fran, you know, his running backs have something to prove. I could see that working out well for him, and if it does, then he's going to have a monster of a team. Dereck, he's got Le'Veon Bell. You know, rest in peace from last year. I lost him in, week 4. So a little bittersweet, but he could bounce back and easily be the number 1 running back. I'm actually surprised people are so low on him in terms of him coming off around, running back number 8. I think it's a solid pickup. You know, looking back, I don't want to give them too much shit. I think it was a good trade. It's getting kind of late here. I think I might end episode 1 of the Lonelycast, but thanks for tuning in. if you have any suggestions for how this has gone. I want to see any specific analysis, a player, a team. I'm very open to constructive criticism. Don't blow me up, but I'm trying my best here. Please hit me up on YouTube, hit me up via text. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot.
I saw the clouds roll in and run across the sky, and I really hope that when the sun burns through